Hi everyone, Tashidelek, Namo Buddhaya. So today I am going to discuss about the Lord Buddha. One of my Indian friends, he asked me a question. Uh, this question seems a little bit important, so therefore I would like to take this question on my YouTube channel. He asked me the question that he told me uh, one of the Hindu spiritual leader stated that Buddha was a Hindu and he remained as a Hindu practitioner for his entire life. So he was asking me that Buddha is a Hindu or not. So this question actually is a subject of historical and philosophical debate. Generally, people agree that Buddha's teaching diverge significantly from those of Hindu traditions, but there are certain similarities between the two traditions. So, if you look at the Hindu traditions, the Veda, Upanishad, and other sacred texts, they are like the foundations of Hindu philosophy and practice. And Hinduism, they put a lot of emphasis on these scriptures, which includes the practice of ritual, hymns, and philosophical teaching about the nature of reality, the soul, Atma, and the divine creator, God Brahma. So, if you look at the Buddhist perspective, Buddha uh, did not accept, and Buddha never accepted the authorities of Veda and uh, any of the traditional Hindu scriptures. Uh, in fact, Buddha openly and famously rejected uh, the need for ritual sacrifice, the caste systems, and the idea of uh, uh, the permanent soul, Atma. So instead, Buddha taught the doctrine of anatta or anatma, no self, which argues that there is no permanent soul, there is no uh, independent soul, there is no unchanging and eternal soul in all beings. If you look at the Hinduism persists that there is an existence of an eternal and unchanging souls, Atma, uh, which is the ultimately identical with God Brahma, the supreme divine or the supreme realities. So when we talk about the liberations, a moksha is attained when one realizes the oneness of Atma with the God Brahma. So if you look at the Buddhisms, Buddhism, Buddha's core teaching, Buddha's central teaching was was the doctrine of anatta and anathema, which asserts that there is no permanent soul, there is no independent soul, there is no eternal and unchanging souls. So, according to the Buddhisms, if you believe uh, in the idea of permanent soul, if you believe the independent soul, if you believe the eternal and unchanging souls, so that kind of idea will lead you to the attachment and angers. So eventually, it will lead you to the sufferings. So that's so therefore, instead, Buddha taught that everything is in constant flux. Everything is impermanence, anicca, and everything is interdependence. So that the suffering and dukkha arises from our idea of clinging to the transient sense of self and soul. So if you look at the Hinduisms, especially in the Vedantic traditions, it focuses on the concept of the supreme God and a divine creator, God Brahma. The, the goal of the spiritual practice is to realize one's unity with the God Brahma. So if you look at the Buddhism is a non-theistic. It does not affirm that there is an existence of the supreme God. Buddha focus on the nature of the human sufferings and its cessations, rather than on the nature of the divine creators. So if you look at the certain form of the Buddhisms like a Mahayana and Vajrayana, they have developed the cosmologies and mandala that includes a various kind of bodhisattvas and celestial beings, but this kind of things is not equivalent to the Hindu concept of God. So Buddha taught that liberation can come through the wisdoms and ethical conduct and the mental disciplines, not through the devotion to our deities. If you look at the Hinduisms, the caste systems, varna, which is the key feature of the traditional Hindu society, dividing the people into the different social groups based on their birth. So these divisions were often justified by the idea of divine ordinations and the performance of duties appropriate to the one's caste. If you look at the Buddhism, Buddha rejected the caste systems, and he taught that everyone and anyone, regardless of their social background or birth, they could achieve the enlightenment through the right practice. So Buddha emphasized on the personal efforts, moralities, and mindfulness as the means to the liberations, rather than adherence to the caste-based duties. So his inclusive attitude was revolutionary for the time. So when we talk about the liberations, if you look at the Hinduisms, liberation, moksha, is understood as the realizations of one's eternals, divine nature, Atma, and its oneness with the Brahma. The path of the liberation may involve the devotions, bhakti, knowledge, jnana, or discipline actions, karma yoga. So if you look at the Buddhisms, Buddha taught about the liberations. Nirvana is the cessations of suffering, and it's the end of the cycle of rebirth in samsaras. The path of the nirvana is noble eightfold path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentrations. So nirvana is a state of profound peace, and it is free from attachment, anger, and hatred. So nirvana is the cessations of sufferings. So unlike moksha, nirvana does not require a union with the divine being and realizations of the divine essence. So Buddha's teachings are practical, and he emphasizes ethical living, moral conduct, shila, mental discipline, meditation, dhyan or bhavana, and the wisdoms, prajna, and the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. So Buddha focused on the immediate elevations of suffering, and also Buddha advocated for the life of moderations, the middle way between the asceticisms and indulgence. While Hindu also has the ascetic traditions, but Buddhism's emphasize is more on mindfulness and insight, vipassana, on the nature of reality. So Buddha's teachings were new revelations, and his teaching distincts from the traditions and the scriptures of his time. And Buddha emphasized that his path was not based on the divine revelations and revelations of eternal truth. And he said that his path was based on his own experience and insight. So he encouraged direct personal investigations of the nature of suffering and the path to its cessations. That's all. Thank you.